We're at Photo Booth Expo 2019 looking at some of the cool things here at the show, and that brought me to the Atlanta Photo Booth. And we have looked at the Venue Pro, and this is the 2019 version of the Venue Pro here from Atlanta Photo Booth. Steve, tell us a little bit about some of the upgrades that you've put into the Venue Pro this year.
Okay, cool. Basically, it's now going on 7 years that this model has been produced, and every time we've tried to make some sort of a change, people complained. They said, no, we like it the way it is. So every attempt I've made to upgrade it has been thwarted one way or another. However, the one consistent thing we had brought to our attention was the fact that people don't like having to drop the cables down through the pedestal. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've put the integrated power and USB things into the pedestal itself, so you can simply plug them right into the top and run your printer and power stuff through the base. Now down in the base, in the bottom, there are additional Edison plugs so that you can plug in, or outlets, so you can plug in a printer or something else. You can run a printer and, say, an external strobe. And we also added the LEDs just for fun because it gives it a little extra pop. In addition to that, it is now steel instead of aluminum, so you can use magnetic branding and stuff like that on the front without having to peel off vinyl or have to deal with sticky stuff. So the magnetic branding is absolutely phenomenal.
Now, Steve, one of the areas that these are kind of a struggle for some of us is the accessibility to the devices. What's the best way to be able to get in there and work with the different things back there?
Well, actually, John, we've got the nice big door on the back, and you can simply open the compartment, and everything is in here and in here where it's accessible. Now, there is a lot of room in the back for things like power supplies and cables. Now, as you can see, we're using obscenely long cables to go basically 1 foot, so you don't have to use 20-foot cables, but if you had them, you do have room to store them. Same thing with your power adapter. Most people will just lay that in there so that when you take your Surface Pro out, you do not have to unsnip or unvelcro your power supplies and whatnot. Every power supply in here is meticulously marked and in a position where you can simply change it out if you ever had to in the field. So you don't need any special tools or anything. Everything is stuck and placed in a place where it makes sense. And the Surface itself comes in and out quickly with 2 little clip mounts right here, and it just pulls right out of the back. So it's very easy to pull it in and out if you need to work on it or switch to a backup or anything like that. Your camera, likewise, you can simply just unscrew your knob and take it off so you can get at the battery port or the USB port. You have additional charging ports in addition to USB ports where you can run higher amperage, I think 2.5 amp or something like that, phones and whatnot, so you can charge off of this as well as running your USB peripherals.
Now, would a person transport this with the devices in there, like specifically the cameras, what I'm wondering about?
Most people do, actually, because it's pretty tight. You can actually leave the camera and the Surface Pro in there, and as we tell people, just don't stack stuff on top of it. But yes, everything lives inside of it, so it's basically a plug-in and turn-on type of setup when you get places.
So if I'm going to leave the Surface Pro in there, there must be a way to protect this for transport. What do we have right behind us here?
You have a set of padded cases. We give you a case for the pedestal, as well as a case for the top and the base. Many people do transport the base in one piece and simply slide this over the top because it's easier to stand it up against things. You don't risk the chance of it falling over and bonking or whatever, and it's just faster to set up when you go in. You only have your 4 little screws to put the top on, and you're good to go.
Steve, I really like that LED stand that you've incorporated, but there might be some people out there who are liking the more traditional without the lights in that. Is that something they can still get?
Yes, absolutely. This is in fact an upgrade to the unit, so it is not the standard configuration. We do still have the standard base, and if you're not an LED person, you can still get the standard base, absolutely.
That sounds great. If people would like to find a spot for more information or a spot where they could purchase, where should they go?
You can go to the newly revamped AtlantaPhotoBooth.com site, where you can find all the information and videos.
Newly revamped, that's exciting.
Yes, yes.
That is pretty cool. We'll put that link down in the description below so you guys can go check it out. But we are at the Atlanta Photo Booth here at Photo Booth Expo 2019.